evening, everyone. I'm Vignesh. Alongside is my academic partner in crime, Dr. Craig Shelby. We're about to pull back the curtain on one of the most misunderstood yet powerful research tool, the case study. It isn't just another research method. It's a philosophical mindset, a storytelling strategy. And sometimes it's your only hope when your research is too messy for a survey and too honest for an experiment. Let's begin this adventure into methods that dare to ask, why tell a story once when you can analyze it for 3 years and call it a PhD? So here's what we aim to do today. No jargon, no academic flexing, just the real deal. Number one, we aim to understand what a case study truly means, especially in the elite world of PhD level research. Number two, we aim to discover what makes a case study strong, robust, and defensible. Think of it like preparing for a witness for cross-examination. Number three, unpack the role of theory. It's just not background music, it's GPS for your data. And number four, the golden question. How many case studies are enough before your supervisor either applauds you or stages an intervention? Hint, the answer is not 73. By the end of this presentation, I hope you will leave not just informed, but inspired, and possibly questioning everything you knew about research design. Now, before we dissect case studies, allow me to take you on a little detour straight into the archives. Yes, what you see here is living proof that even the most serious researchers once agonized about margins, font sizes, and whether the binding person will spell your name right. On the left, you have my humble contribution to academia, corporate scandals in Malaysia, a political economy analysis on corporate governance reforms. The thesis is so loaded with drama, intrigue, and corruption. It could have been optimized for Netflix. On the right, Dr. Craig Shelby's magnum opus, Chinese Family Firm Survival, an investigation into Chinese family firms in Singapore, the example of Hong Leong Group. Both of these works, in essence, are case studies, rich, contextual, layered. They reflect on our intellectual roots and our mutual appreciation of understanding of the world through stories that matter. Let's be honest, we didn't survive our research. We emerged with scars, stories, and citation. And yes, this is our blast from the past, but more than nostalgia, it's a reminder. Case studies isn't just a method. It's a mirror, it's a magnifier, and occasionally a sanity test. Shall we dive back in? Let's set the scene. This is the research method, the research method family reunion. Number one, you have the experimental. Think of it as the control freak. Precise, neat, usually found in labs, but not great in messy real life. Number two, the cross-sectional. Loves a quick snapshot like a good selfie, but it doesn't age well. Think of surveys with a deadline. Longitude. This is the patriarch of the research design. Patient, watches things age over time. Think of a tortoise with a clipboard. Comparative. This is the little brother that thrives on drama, loves to pit two things against each other, always arguing over who did things better. And then the case study, the observer. This doesn't this approach doesn't force answers. It listens, absorbs, and reflects. It's the black sheep that understands the nuance. Case studies are the entographers of empirical work. They don't ask the world to behave. They try to understand when it doesn't. A case study, my dear colleagues, it is not just storytelling with citation. A case study is like a deep Netflix documentary. It dives into real life stories, doesn't rush into conclusions, leaves you with more questions than answers, but in a good way. Formally, it's an empirical inquiry that investigates a contemporary phenomenon in depth and in context. This is crucial. Context is not background noise. In case study research, the context is part of the plot. You are not just observing what happens, you're studying where, how, why it happens, all at once. And because life is messy, you often end up with more variables than data points. That's not a mistake. That is the point. Case studies demand you to triangulate data like a detective in a thriller, piecing together the mystery from multiple sources, hidden theories, and elegant chaos. Next, please. Here's why you reach for a case study. One, when your questions start with how or why. Number two, when you can't manipulate variables like the real world. And number three, when you're looking at contemporary phenomenon, not ancient ruins or long dead monarchs. Let's say you're studying the war in Baghdad. You're not going to rerun the battle. Or if you want to analyze sustainability for New Zealand's tuna quotas, you can't interview the fish. You don't run experiments on that. You dive deep, soak in the complexity. A case study lets you observe, gather, reflect, and explain without needing to control the chaos. And all this preferably with a cup of strong coffee. And case studies are not picky. They get along with everybody. Policy people, psychologists, business folks, urban planner. It's like a Swiss Army knife of research. Not perfect for everything, but versatile enough to get the job done when it matters. The beauty is, if your field deals with complex humans, messy systems, stubborn realities, case study fits right in. So yes, whatever your discipline, the odds are good that a well-crafted case study can elevate your research from descriptive to meaningful. Next, please. Here's the Michelin guide for case studies. Number one, the case must matter. No one wants to deep dive into something that's very trivial. Number two, it needs to be complete. We need to tie up the loose ends. Number three, multiple views. It needs to show all angles, even the inconvenient ones. I'm sorry, Greg, it's the slide before, right? Oh, okay. The slide after, please, Greg. Yeah, okay, fantastic. Sorry, let me run through this again. Here's the Michelin guide for case studies. Number one, the case must matter. It needs to be significant. No one wants to deep dive into something that's trivial. Number two, it needs to be complete. We need to tie up all the loose ends. From start to finish, you need to be aware of the case. Number three, multiple views. Show all the angles, even the inconvenient ones. Evidence, it needs plenty of it. Think of a courtroom, not a TED talk. Make it engaging. Academic writing doesn't mean it's boring. Make it readable. If someone can't get past page 3 without falling asleep, try again. Here's a contrast of other approaches. Now, with history, it's always limited to dusty documents. No access, we have no access to unfolding events, what's happening right now. When it comes to experiments, great if you can control the variables, not ideal on how, for example, studying how a government makes bad decisions. Surveys big on breadth but low on depth. Case studies, they live in the now, like a live theater of human action. They are your lens of they are your lens to study today's problems in full complexity without oversimplification. Now, this is by Robert Yin. Robert Yin is the Gandalf of case studies. We have always three primary quests. Explanatory, we are figuring out the map. Descriptive, when we're trying to write the travel log. Explanatory, when we want to understand why we get lost in the first place. Each has its place. Some cases evolved across these types as your understanding deepens. And then we have Glumenson, who adds two power moves. Case studies, number one, case studies can initiate change. They can shift systems, spark outrage, and also improve policy. Number two is they can generate theory. Gerstkick's punctuated equilibrium is born out of a case study. The point is, you're just not documenting, you're innovating. Now, let's not be humble right now. If a case study is a marketing pitch, it will be rich in data, great for uncovering patterns, a theory generator, multi-angle approach, and also ideal for complex phenomenon. If you're looking for nuance, flexibility, and insight, case study is your ideal bet. Now, for every hero, there's a villain. And the villain for case studies is sometimes they lack rigor if done poorly done. They confuse research case studies. For example, with the MBA teaching course, you have like the Harvard Business Review. They start off with a case study to explain, and sometimes they assume that case studies are just for that, to explain to an MBA class one particular case. Now, they also provide limited generalization. You cannot always extrapolate, right? And then finally, it does take time, a lot of time. It's like caffeine and crying time. But don't let this criticism scare you. To which I say the best things in life and research aren't generalizable. They are deeply specific. A well executed case study defends itself. Now, this is the role of case studies in research. Think of your theory as the North Star. You're not building upon a grand utopian model. You're just crafting out a solid theoretical backbone. Sometimes you need help to decide what you observe, what data to collect, what stories your evidence tell. If your research is a house, theory is just a blueprint. And no, IKEA instructions don't count. Now, the $1,000,000 question, Greg always asked, has always uh, pointed out to this. How many case studies are enough? Perry says 2 to 4. The hive mind says 4 to 8. Your supervisor probably says it depends. The truth is, one is powerful. A well-justified case can outweigh 5 shallow ones. It's not about quantity, it's about intellectual weight and strategic fit. Don't chase numbers, choose relevance. Now, this with regards to representativeness, you need to justify your case selection. Are you picking a typical case or extreme case, a diverse set, or just one that is accessible? These could be your 4 points that you make your decision upon, right? Whatever the case, the choice is your choice. Build your rationale like a good lawyer builds a defense. Always be ready to defend why your case tells a story that is worth hearing. Next. Interpreting case studies. Now, think theory as your compass. It's not a cage. At PhD level, you're just not narrating events, you're interpreting them. It doesn't need to be grand or intimidating, just solid enough for you to guide you through your data jungle. It helps to know where to look, what to collect, and how to connect the dots when your dots are throwing tantrums. Use deductive lens. Link back into theory. Let the story tell you something bigger than systems, structures, and society. This is where case studies shine. Okay. With regards to ambiguity and opportunities in case study research, is it qualitative? Is it quantitative? Is it mixed? Is the researcher too close to the data? Should we use one case or 5? Is this generalizable? Yes, case studies are often messy. They evolve. They surprise you. They don't follow a straight path. It's not a bug. That is a feature. It means you're closer to reality than a neatly boxed experiment. Embrace the ambiguity. Case studies are like jazz. It thrives upon improvisation, revolves as it plays, and depends on the skill of the artist. That's you. Now, let me leave you with a beautiful thought from Robert Stake. The real business of case study is particularization, not generalization. You're not trying to build or find universal truths. You're trying to understand the world as it breathes in all its complexity. And if you do it well, congratulations. What you've done what most researchers only can dream of. So dive in, observe well, and never underestimate the power of a single well-told case. Now, thank you for all your time, curiosity, and tolerance to my bad jokes.